It is your friend's ex that's entering your eye. You have demonic spirits. So hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hey girl, my name is Lucy. I always say to stay subscribed because we have a good time on this channel. As you've seen by the title, we'll be doing another dating Q&A. You guys seem to love this video so much, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I love it. Like, I love it so much, and I've had a lot of interesting conversations because of these videos. A lot of you have actually sent me questions on dating on Instagram, which I would definitely recommend. If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. I didn't put up a poll, but people just felt the need to like ask me questions. From this point on, what I'm gonna say is leave your dating questions below, like in the comments. Leave it in the comments of this video, and I'll keep making this dating Q&A to answer your questions. Diving right into it, the first question I have on my list is thoughts on being a stay-at-home wife / girlfriend. Let me be honest, I actually don't see anything wrong with that. When it comes to dating, marriage, relationship, all of it, it's always what works best for you and your partner. Whatever it is that you both agree on that is your best practice in that relationship or that marriage is what I think you should lean on, okay? And for this stay-at-home girlfriend / wife, look, everyone is different. Everyone has their life goals and aspirations and what they truly want for themselves. There are ladies that don't want to be hustlers. There are ladies that don't want anything but just a home, children, family. They're, natural nurturers and they want to be at home. They are pretty much trad wives and trad girlfriends, and that's completely fine. If you're asking me which one I am, I'm a good proportion of both. I consider myself like really traditional when it comes to dating and marriage. I'm very traditional, sticking to the roots type of girl. I'm not going to assume I'm in a relationship with somebody. You have to officially ask me to be your girlfriend. Like, I'm telling you a whole proposal. I don't care. That's the kind of person that I am. If you don't pop the question to me and ask me to be in your life officially, I'm gonna assume that we're not, and that's not what you truly want from me, and we're gonna move on, okay? And that goes for a lot of things as well. So like the 50-50, I'm not doing it. All these other modern dating, modern marriages, it's not my thing. I will never be with them. I will never stand with them. I love what I love, okay? I could be a trad wife. There are so many things that I love to do. There are so many goals that I have in terms of career, YouTube, content creation, businesses, and all of that. I still have that. That's why I said I'm a good balance. I don't mind going that route, but not completely. We all cannot have the same relationships and marriages. There are people that want something completely different from what you have, and that's completely okay. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it bad. As long as they're able to live with it and they're happy. The key word is happy. Like, as long as they're happy in their situation and their setup, that's all that matters, okay? Second question says thoughts on dating your friend's ex. That is just a demonic spirit. You must be a witch. Like, why is that even a thought on your mind? Honestly, you're fighting demons if out of all the men in this world, out of all the men in this life, it is your friend's ex that's entering your eye. You have demonic spirits. I'm not joking. This is not even for us to kiki about it. You have a problem. They need to kabash on your head, because what is that kind of nonsense? On a more serious note, you need to ask yourself, like, aside from you not being a girl's girl, are you actually being a good human being? How can you date your friend's ex? Like, that's not even... Why? Third question says thoughts on your man having a group chat with his friends. This one, I might be a bit biased. Not biased, but I might be a bit in the middle with this, because I don't necessarily think it's a huge problem. I do think there is something to look into when it comes to why are all of you in a chat? Like, why? There is a questionable question in that, but it could be harmless. It could just be a boys thing. It could just be, tight friendship group type thing, which usually, but it's a 50-50 thing. More like a 70-30 thing, like 70 bad, 30 good in my opinion, because why? It gives youngin behavior, like uni boys, small boys type behavior in my opinion. I don't see a grown-ass man and his friends, odogus, on a group chat. What's an odogu looking for in a group chat? Think about it that way. When you think about it that way, you'd understand that it's given we're still on the street, we're still exchanging pictures of different girls in a group chat type of vibe, and it's not giving grown. It's not giving mature, okay? Next question says thoughts on asking a man for money if you don't ask that man for money. If you don't ask that man for money. Like, I don't understand. The thing is, I can run my mouth now because I have a completely different mindset from years ago, right? But if you have financial issues, you have money problems, you need help, your man should be the first person that you run to. And if you have a man that you cannot run to, then you should change your man. Don't. I feel like everybody's just calling me now. Hey, babe.
Babe, are you going to eat? I'm about to make tacos.
You see Guinea? I will eat tacos. What kind of taco do you want to make?
I'm making shrimp.
Your partner, your man, your husband, your boyfriend, your fiance, whatever, is supposed to be your person, like your go-to person, someone who knows you better than anyone else does. So in situations like this, especially difficult situations that arise when it comes to finances, just money issues, life issues, things that you need to clear up, bills, right? If you're having a difficult time, that should be the first person that you think about, and that's the first person you go to. Now, if they are not able to help you because they genuinely don't have the means to help you, that's a different issue altogether. That's a whole different thing, right? But if they are not able to help you because they feel like you shouldn't be asking them for that type of help, then they are not your person. Men are providers. Normally, they're supposed to be. Normally. I'm saying this over and over again, like normally, because nowadays we know how men can be. They're created and they're made to like take care of their woman, and a lot of them do that. Like a lot of them would take care of you, a lot of them would be there for you without you even asking. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Normally, without you even asking, they come to your aid, they help. That's what a good partner is. That's who a good partner is to you. Like someone who can stand in for you, someone who can be there for you when you need them, especially in times like this, like times where life throws you stones. Your go-to person is the person you're in a relationship with, your man, your partner. If you cannot see that person as that, then you have a lot of work to do in that relationship. Sometimes it's a you thing, and it's also an ego thing, because when I was struggling with this part of me years ago, I realized I was an ego thing. Oh my God, I really don't have it, so I have to beg. No, you're not begging. I'm not saying that it's your right or anything, or you're obligated to collect from them and all that, but it's just, that's part of being in a relationship. That's part of caring for someone. That's part of loving someone. That's part of taking care of somebody, is, you know, coming through for them at every area that they need that help, like emotionally, physically, however, you know. So it should not be excluded. These are things that normally happen in a relationship. So you better go and ask that man for money. You better ask that man for money, okay? Next one is thoughts on taking an ex back. I think realistically, because I know the internet will tell you otherwise. The internet will tell you, oh, throw stones at that man if he comes back. You should not go back to your vomit, blah, 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 blah. You left for a reason, blah, blah. I know all of that, right? I feel like taking an ex back is not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on why you guys broke up in the first place and the situation surrounding that. There are situations, or there are times where you both will not work at that moment for certain reasonable reasons. That's not your time to be together. You might know of them so you can reconnect later, but at that time you both cannot be together, and then you split. But if the universe, if God brings you both back together, then you are meant to be. So there are situations where I believe that, you know, it works. There are situations where I feel like that's what is necessary to do. Split for that moment and then regroup, figure out yourselves or your lives apart from each other, and then come back at God's time. While there are situations where you have no business going back. You know where you're coming from. You know what happened. You know the trauma you've been through. Going back to that person would be you intentionally harming yourself at that point. Next one is thoughts on divorce. Now, this is a topic that I feel like I might talk about later on this channel as a separate standalone topic, because divorce and marriages nowadays completely different. Like I said earlier in this video, I'm a trad girl. My trad side stands out. Like it's the first thing that you see, or the first thing you encounter as a man when you come into my life. I'm very how it should be, how it's supposed to be type of girl, right? I'm not the, oh, let's use A to substitute B and C. Let's not do that, right? So when it comes to divorce, I also share the same view. Vows are vows, right? Except it's a situation that really endangers my life. I feel like everything could be worked out. Nowadays, I feel like one of the biggest issues with human beings is nobody has patience. Nobody really wants to put in the work when it comes to relationships, marriages, and all that. So their first first resolution would be let's split. That's why you see marriages of 1 year, marriages of 3 years, only 5 years. Nowadays, if you even see marriage has lasted 5 years, you need to give them an award because they tried. People don't want to put in that effort to love somebody, to be someone's life partner anymore. The other day on TikTok, I saw a lady that was speaking about how if you're bored in your marriage, it's okay for you to leave. And I was just like, where did that stupid, selfish, nonsensical thoughts come from? Because boredom is something that we would all face as human beings. You bore yourself sometimes as a human being. Like, you get bored of everything. You could get bored of everything. Being bored doesn't mean that the position you're in is bad, or the person you're with is bad, or your situation is horrible. It means you're bored. And what do you do when you're bored? You obviously look for things to pull you out of that. That's why I said people don't necessarily want to work in marriages and relationships anymore. They just feel like the slightest inconvenience is a sign for them to run away. So that's why divorce is so much these days. It's scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's really scary. I'm definitely against divorce. Any form of abuse, life or death, leading to that path would have been, you just leave, right? But anything else is fixable. But naturally, that should not even be a conversation at anybody's table. There are a lot of people you have conversations with these days. They talk about it like a breakup. They're like, oh, if it's not working out, I'll just leave. This is someone you exchange vows with. It's like you don't even take yourself serious. Your own words, you don't even mean them. Because if that's even a thought in your head, something that you're okay with, like you're comfortably saying, if it doesn't work, I'll just leave, then you have a problem. You're already hoping and praying and seeing the end of your marriage. It's just crazy these days. It's just a lot. Next one says thoughts on your type in dating. Now, yes, there's a thing like your type. You know what you like or who you like or the kind of men that you gravitate towards. That's typically your type. But based on experience and things that I've seen around me, things that have happened in my front, in my presence like this, I think it's best to step out of your type, okay? Your type typically does not work. A lot of people have said to me that they had the best experience in dating and obviously are in marriages right now when they lost the idea or got rid of the idea of wanting their type, like wanting a certain type of partner. They had to pretty much get rid of the idea that my partner has to look like this, needs to dress like this, needs to speak like this, needs to come like this. Do you get what I mean? So when you step out of that idea of they have to be like this for me to get interested, then you start having a good dating experience. And based on experience, I could tell you that definitely works. Next one says thoughts on money conversations in dating. I feel like it's really important. I don't think it's the first, second, or third thing you should talk about, but I feel like knowing where you both stand in terms of these important topics, especially when you're dating with intention and dating for marriage, money conversations should be one of the top things you guys speak about on that list, because money, destroys things. So if you both don't align on how you intend to navigate money issues or finances generally, so you could start by picking his brain, like speaking about it casually, thoughts on several things, then you know where his head is when it comes to navigating finances and money. You can align and see if there's a fit there. If there is not, if there is no fit, be going, because you are going to suffer. Next one says thoughts on healing from a breakup. Healing from a breakup looks different for everyone. I could share how I heal from a breakup or how I would heal from a breakup, but I'm not sharing for you to use my exact strategy, but for you to pick out something, try something new if what you have or what you've tried isn't working for you. Doesn't mean it could work for you. It just means this is what worked for me and you can try it and see if it works for you. But one thing I would say generally is when you're healing from a breakup, please try not to use somebody else to heal, because you end up hurting yourself more. But then the sad thing is you hurt an additional person along the line, because already 2 people are hurting. Then you're going to add a 3rd person for no reason, and you might even damage them for life, because that's how severe damaging happens. Another thing I'll tell you about healing from a breakup is don't give yourself a timeline. Healing takes as long as it wants to take, and you should let it do its thing. Healing generally, not necessarily from a breakup, is in waves and phases. Healing is not a straight line, so don't expect yourself to feel better in a few months or even a few years. You might feel good in a few months or a few years, whatever, and then later on something could trigger that emotion again in you, and you will still fall back into that, and that's completely fine. That's what healing looks like. That's what real healing looks like. Third thing I'll say about healing from a breakup is let yourself go through all the emotions. Don't mask it, suppress it, don't try to numb it. Let yourself feel all the emotions. If you feel like screaming, if you feel like eating, anything you feel like doing, right, do it. Let yourself feel the emotions. Don't bottle it up, because the more you release it, the lighter it gets on you. You heal faster when you release those emotions, and don't use anybody or anything to suppress it. The next one says thoughts on conflict, fights, arguments in relationships slash marriage. I feel like that's normal. No, I feel like it is normal to have conflict and arguments in relationships. In fact, if you're not having those, then you both are fake to each other, because we're humans. At the end of the day, I'm not always going to like what somebody else does. Even if I love the person to death, they might offend me. I will offend them. I will do things differently that they might not necessarily agree with. I will make mistakes. Just all of that, right? I think the most important thing when it comes to conflicts and navigating arguments in a relationship is how good is your conflict resolution skill on both ends. That's one thing I majorly take note of when I am dealing with somebody, is to understand how they manage conflict, how they manage emotions. Do they have empathy? Do they have a side to them that wants to fix the situation, or do they want to run away from the situation? Are they aware of themselves as far, oh, am I wrong or am I right? Like, did I say the right thing? How self-aware are they? So it's good to have conflict, but it's good for you to also learn good conflict resolution skill. I struggle so much in this area, but I'm doing way better than, years ago, because this is something that I'm aware of. I'm getting there. I'm doing better, but I'm getting there. Next one says thoughts on dating a busy man. It depends, because I feel like nobody is ever too busy for the person they actually do care about. I've heard a lot of situations or stories of people saying, oh, he's too busy, he could not call. He's too busy, he couldn't text. That's not true. That's not true. I've been on both ends before, like ends where I know that this person is like really busy and he's really playing his part, and then I've been on the other part where that's the only excuse they could give. But then that's when I know that you're not really as interested as you say you are, or you're not really as into me as you say you are, because if you really are, you make time. So when somebody's busy, that's fine, but as long as they can put you in their schedule at some point, they can prioritize you no matter how busy their life gets. You can't just come to me and tell me you want to be with me, but you're too busy to put in the work. Are you crazy? One bad thing about us girls is we like to make excuses for these men when we really like them. Oh my god, they're so busy. Oh my god, they're wealthy. They're so busy. They don't have time for it. That's an excuse, and you know that. Now that's all for this video. Like I said earlier, if you have questions particularly to dating, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be picking the questions out, putting them together and answering them in videos like this. So if you want to participate, feel free to participate and I will answer your questions. Okay, now let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on all my socials, Instagram and TikTok. They're all linked below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Those of you that are listening in your car, at your job, you at home, I don't care where you at. Turn this up right now, because we're about to go in. Hey.